Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jeff Martin from the Tea Party. You are watching Troy, and may the rock be with you.
So,
Troy,
how are you, mate?
how are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you. Always good to see you in this garb and the guitars. This is you. So good. How are you, mate?
I'm very, very, very good. Yeah, just really excited about what's coming up with the Tea Party, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I look forward to getting into that. So, as always, welcome back to May the Rock Be With You. We've spoken a number of times, but caught up more times than that. And it's been about 18 months, though, mate. So, let's catch up. How have the last 18 months been for you?
Well, there's been a lot. I did a tour with the Tea Party November, December of 25. And so it was my bands and a couple of other Canadian bands called Finger 11
Hmm.
and the Headstones. But the Tea Party, we headlined these arenas across Canada. So at the very least, as far as population was concerned, maybe it was 5,000, but at the most it was like 9,000.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome. See, keep busy.
I
Always
know.
good. But in more exciting news than that, I mean, that's pretty exciting, but you're coming back to see us. And we've got this amazing thing with the Tea Party is Braving the Elements. So I need to understand the fire and the wind shows and how these will be structured.
Well, what it comes down to is, I guess, the fire would be the standalone rock shows, which would be Brisbane, Adelaide, and Wollongong. But the wins would be the Opera House and Hamer Hall,
Hmm.
with in those two shows, of course, with the respective symphonies, right?
I was going to say, I was lucky enough to see the symphony show you did back in 2017 here in Sydney, and that was absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see this in the Opera House, firstly, and also with a 50-piece orchestra, which is going to be insane. So, when you did that experience in 2017, what, if anything, did you take from that that you continue to work with into shows or have thought about to use in these upcoming shows?
Well, to tell you the truth, the I think you're speaking about, like, as far as Sydney is concerned, you're speaking about the Star,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Now that orchestra that we played with at that time was probably half the size of what's going to happen
Yep.
at the Opera House, right? But still, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. But it was also bittersweet. And actually, for me personally, quite sad because the day that the show was performed in Sydney at the Star Casino, um, one of my best friends, who was also my guitar tech for 3 or 4 years, that was actually the morning of that show,
Mm.
that day that he passed away.
Yeah.
And I had to go on stage and for instance, like, perform with an orchestra songs like Requiem, right? And Walking Wounded, and all the all those very cheerful ballads of the Tea Party. But I do remember, like, when I performed Requiem,
Mm.
and as I said, in that morning, Melissa and I got the news that my best friend Corey had passed,
Yeah.
and I had to go on stage and perform. And there was a moment in between vocal necessities where I had a chance to just turn around and face the orchestra, and I was bawling my eyes out
Wow.
because of the power of what was coming off of not only the orchestra but also the band. I'm still playing, but I'm thinking about my friend who just passed away that morning, and it was most certainly one of the most intense moments of my life.
Yeah, I mean, you pushed through. I mean, I know you mentioned it on stage and it was hard for you, but man, you still delivered, and that's what you are, a perfectionist, and you're just a consummate professional. So we thank you for pushing through that. That was really hard for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, but let's get back to the new ones, because are there any songs that you've worked through that just didn't work with the symphony? Is there anything you wanted to play that may not come through and you went, oh, we can't do that one?
Um, hmm. Well, what we're going to try, because we have the luxury of rehearsing in Melbourne for about 3 days
Mm,
prior to Hamer Hall. So Hamer Hall is on the 6th of February, and we've got 3 days with not only the orchestra but also the conductor that is going to be also the conductor for Sydney, right? So we're going to try things like the ocean at the end. We're going to try. What was the other song? You know what? I should have written this down. But more importantly, right? Like a song like the ocean at the end,
yeah.
which is a big blues kind of like opus, you know, like a sort of like a Zeppelin meets Pink Floyd sort of thing, but of course it's the Tea Party, right? So we had a score done for it, so we're going to see in rehearsals if it translates. Yeah.
Okay, looking forward to that. Now, for me, the Tea Party is a truly alive powerhouse. That's where you guys absolutely shine. I don't know how the three of you produce the noise that you do, which is phenomenal. But when you move away from just the three of you on the stage to have these 50 extra musicians at the back, what's the feeling like of almost extra responsibility of working with people outside of what you know?
It's mathematical because uh, so for instance, so Jeff Burrows, my drummer, he arrives here on the Sunshine Coast on the 23rd.
Mhm.
We're going to be working on new Tea Party material. But then Stuart arrives on the 31st. And then here on the Sunshine Coast, we go into rehearsals specifically for the orchestra, right? For the two shows, because it's not a problem. It's just a conundrum that when it comes to the Tea Party playing with an orchestra, it becomes mathematical because we have to understand the ins and the outs and the bridge, right? It's not a Tea Party rock show where it's a free for all. And, you know, the three of us have been together for like over 35 years, and, you know, we can go anywhere we want in a three-piece situation. But when it comes to an orchestra, well, there has to be a respect there
Mhm.
for those musicians. They've got their pages in front of them, and we have to adhere to what has been put down on the pages, right? And believe it or not, that causes me a lot of stress
Can't go
because,
rogue.
you know, it's like, yeah, it's like, come on, Martin, get this right. Yeah, this is the count in, this is the bridge, this is the outs. Yeah, and then you're done. You know, this, you know, keep those guitar solos short. Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
Oh, looking forward to this so much. Now, you talked about new music. When we spoke last, you said the floodgates had opened, and that was 18 months ago. So you just talked about working on new stuff. What are we looking at? Are we albums, singles? Is something in the works?
Well, we're looking at like working towards an album.
Cool.
But yeah, there'll be singles first. But the music that's going to be the new music for the Tea Party is it's very much the whole Moroccan roll, the Middle Eastern thing. You know, our last two efforts, so it would have been Black River, the EP, and Blood Moon Rising, that EP. Uh, you know, I'm proud of everything like the output that we put out there. But the thing is that I felt that those two EPs were a bit homogenized. Especially for the Tea Party, it was a bit too kind of like meat and potatoes rock and roll, right?
Mhm.
And my wife and I, Melissa, who you know very well,
I do.
right?
Yep.
So when we're traveling down the mountain from where we live in Flaxton, we're going down to Nambour, or if we're going to Mullaney to get our groceries and whatnot. We listen to Triple J,
Hmm.
right? And I love listening to Triple J. Like I love listening to what's new in the world of pop music, rock music, right? But what I have realized is that that whole Middle Eastern Moroccan roll thing, um, there is no band doing that.
Nope.
So it's time, and I don't mean to be crude, but it's time to piss on our own territory and claim it once again. And that's what the new Tea Party music is going to sound like.
Excellent. There's your tagline for the poster. Gonna piss on our own.
Yeah, please, please no. But
No,
yes,
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I love new music from you guys, and I love the music you produce. No one sounds like you. That's what you're saying. So let's do it. Can't wait to hear it. But in the meantime, have you thought about recording these symphony shows to release?
well, we're in discussions with the Opera House and also with Hamer Hall, right? This is more of a management thing, and it's also Live Nation, our promoter,
Yep.
right? So, yeah, I mean, truth be told, I'm just a singer, man. So, I'm hoping for the best, right? But here's the thing, my friend. And Melissa reminded me of this. You know, 23 years old. I come to Australia for the first time with my band, right? And and you know, looking at the Opera House,
Mm.
right? One of the seven wonders of the world, of the modern, the modern age, right? 23 years old. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, what would it be like, you know, to play that place, right?
Mhm.
And 23 years old, we spent a month in Australia. Like when I was 23, uh, the first week we played in front of 30 people. The second week it was 150. The third week it was 500. And the fourth week it was close to 1,000,
Wow.
right? Now, but we've played these iconic places like the Hordern Pavilion, the Palais many times, the Thebida Theatre in Adelaide, Perth Concert Hall, right? But to be at this stage in our career, and we have sold out the Sydney Opera House with the Symphony and also Hamer Hall, right? But the Opera House at this stage in our career, right? I mean, my 23-year-old self would have never imagined that.
I'm excited for you, man. I can't wait to hear you playing there. Have you seen a show in there with the symphony with a band before?
No, I've only played there once, but I played there as part of a collective. Um, uh, what's the singer's name from Little River Band? Glenn, is
Glenn
it?
Shorrock?
Yes,
Yep.
right. And also, who was the guy? The rock and roll guy. Um, mm, I know. I did a Beatles collective thing
Yeah,
at
cool.
the Opera House, but I'm not sure. I think it was in the smaller room,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right? Right.
Yep.
But still, it was the Opera House,
Yeah.
and yeah, and it was lovely. But the fact that now the Tea Party is going to be, playing, the big room, we got to put our big boy pants on, and you know, and with the symphony and all that, it's just like it it blows my mind.
It does. And I can tell you, during COVID, they did a complete refurb and did all the acoustics again in there, and it
Yeah.
has never sounded better. So you guys are going to sound phenomenal in there. It's going to be great.
Well,
I cannot wait. Now, I like to delve into catalogs because I've asked this of a few artists recently because it's good to get a take on it. Is there a song from your entire catalog that you love so much that you feel doesn't get listened to enough or doesn't get enough love that you really want people to listen to?
hmm. Well, see, this depends. Because I am a perfectionist, and well, perfectionism, unfortunately, hindsight is 2020, right? Um, so there is that song off of Transmission, and it is the title track, Transmission, right? Um, I feel that if I knew then what I know now, as far as production and engineering and recording, that song would have given Nine Inch Nails a run for their money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but technology and all those things back then could have been a little bit different. So I went a bit harder.
Well, it was also limited knowledge, like I was learning as I went. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, let's look at that because 35 years into the band, it's a long time. It's great. But is there a piece of advice that you could give yourself if you could go back to the beginnings from now? If you give yourself a piece of advice, what would that be?
Oh, there is many pieces of advice. One would be more responsible with your money. Um, you know, pick your battles as far as partying is concerned,
Mhm.
right? And somehow, some way, find Melissa sooner than later.
Excellent. She's been good for you. It's been great.
She's the best for me. So, and also, buddy, like, you know what? You have been such a constant, like a northern star for us, for my career, for these interviews, right? And I just really want you to know how much I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That's lovely. Thanks for saying that. It's nice. And I'm always going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. So I look forward to following it until it's done.
All right.
Excellent. Now, highlights. Now, you got one coming up at the Opera House. We talked about that. But is there a moment that stands out over 35 years that comes to mind when you think of the best thing that's happened to the band?
Oh, there's so many. Well, for instance, the SARS Fest that we did in Toronto. That was the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Rush, the Tea Party, 500,000 people.
Jeez.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool. Opening up for the very last show that Page and Plant did with the Egyptian orchestras and all that stuff at the Montreal Forum, and meeting Jimmy Page, my hero, right?
Yeah.
One of my heroes, and starting a friendship with him in 1996. That was a big one as well. You know, there's many, buddy. It's hard to pick. It's just a very, very blessed life, and it seems to continue on. So I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. Excellent. And what we do, as always, mate, let's look ahead to the future because we love a prediction. Finish the sentence as always. In 2026, the Tea Party will.
The Tea Party will respond, record, and release an album that will make rock and roll have a look at itself.
Beautiful. And we can't wait for it. The triple R's. Love that. The R and R and R.
All right.
So absolute pleasure as always. Can't wait until what? It's about a month away at the Opera House now. So I look forward to seeing the show, man. Look forward to seeing you.
Are you going to be there?
Of course. Yeah. Wouldn't miss it. Thanks for watching our interview with Jeff Martin of the Tea Party. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more content, and check out maytherockwithyu.com for everything else.